Welcome to a new day in Empyrion Galactic Survival, and here we are. We're on the base. It's okay. I've got a few reservations about the base, and I've got an idea of what I want to do, but that's going to be for the second part of this video. The first part, for any of you guys who come based on the title that says Alpha 9.2, so if you look up in the top left hand corner there, you will see that we are now on Alpha 9.2 update. That is now in the stable branch. There's a few interesting things in the update, and I will be going through the ones that caught my mind. I'm not going to go through every single detail. There's lots of bug fixes and adjustments and some balancing changes, especially around picking up items and cargo boxes, and I don't really want to get into that level of detail, but if any of you guys are really interested, there will be a link in the video description that will take you to the full release notes. What is actually in Alpha 9.2? Well, it's quite an interesting mixed bag of changes. Some I think people are going to think are really great. Oh great, there's my sentry guns firing. I've put sentry guns up based on a comment from Roger Rainsford. The only downside I'm finding with the sentry guns is they're going through a phenomenal amount of ammunition, simply because there's just so many of these blooming insect creatures around here. And no, I'm not going to bother. Why am I doing that? I'm getting distracted, guys. Back on Alpha 9.2. So let's get through the main points of Alpha 9.2. The first one is a change in relation to the factions, because the Talons now have crossbows and their settlements can now be defended with ballista turrets. I think it's going to be quite an interesting development. I think you can understand how the devs are thinking. They're developing the roles of all the factions, and I think it does lead a little bit into scenario builders now, because if you want to build a scenario, I mean, extending the role of the different factions and their capabilities would be quite interesting. I think the downside of the Talon getting crossbows and especially ballistas is that when you're first starting out and you're on a bike, or you've got a very simple hover vehicle like I've got tucked down here, I think having the Talon the ability to shoot you out the sky is going to be quite interesting. Oh, it looks like we've got the dawn chorus of the drones coming in. Let's stand here and let my turret guns get rid of them. They never get really that close. Occasionally they get a rocket shot in, especially if I'm stood here watching, but they're a good source of loot. There we are. And now the reason I've stood watching, if I'd got into this hover vehicle while they were approaching, they would have immediately started targeting this hover vehicle, which is not good because this thing is about as strong as a pane of glass. Oops. Obviously a pangolin got too close. Let's get out here, and I just want to loot these drones because they're a very good source of some of the high level resources, and if I can never get to level 10, what I want to do is put a destructor in so I can get some saphium and we can get some hardened blocks. And I've just gone straight through this. I think the way one of the changes to 9.2 goes is if you open this up and try and take something, they've now made changes where, like, it doesn't just get stroppy because you're overloaded. What it will do is it will take what it can and put in your inventory and then leave the rest behind, so you don't get in this situation like I've had a couple of times where you're hanging and you can't put it back and you can't put it in anywhere. Eventually you end up just having to drop it. So I think what they've tried to do is fix that, especially when you use the, I think it's Shift F option to grab everything. And we're just going to make our way back to the base. So maybe the drone showing up is a little bit of a useful option there. Come here. Wait, I think I'm going to have to stop these guys. I'm not going to be able, I can't. I'm just going to power this off. I think what I'm going to do is just jump out back into here. I think what I'm going to do, otherwise I'm just going to be competing with them all the time. I think if I come in here, sentry guns, I take them off prey and apply to group. That means it's only going to kill the predators. Because to be honest, the insects are just annoying. The spiders are the real problem. You know, you can probably hear a spider in the background. So moving on, guys, I think I've covered the NPC's warning of change in reputation. This is to do if you're visiting, say, a Talos settlement or a Polaris. If you highlight a box that you're not supposed to be opening, it will now give you a warning to say that if you open this box, it will damage your reputation with them. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't open the box, it just means that you got that warning. Where I think when my first playthrough, I was quite happily clicking on boxes in a Polaris settlement, and I didn't realise that they were getting upset until they started shooting at me. So you've got an idea of the consequences of what you're letting yourself in for if you decide to go on a raid, which is kind of an interesting concept. Now the next one is for any of you guys who are into building your own bases in creative mode to create blueprints, because what they've done is they've made changes to filler blocks, and filler blocks are ways of indicating that this part of the base is underground. So it cannot be used in survival mode, but it's very useful if you do want to build a base with a basement, or something that may be interesting to try out is an underground base. Now I've had a little bit of a fiddle around with it just out of curiosity, but I'm not the greatest builder. I don't claim to be, compared to some of the fantastic stuff you see on the workshop. I can't get anywhere near it. I'm okay for a simple ship, but anything too elaborate starts to get to me. And to be honest, when it comes to bases, I prefer to build every base as a unique project. I'm not a big fan of base templates, but for any of you guys out there who really want to build some good bases in creative mode, you've now got the option of the filler blocks to indicate what parts of the bases are now underground. And I think that covers the more meatier parts of the update. As I said, there's lots of fine detail which you can see in the update notes, and what I'm going to do now is move on to some of the gameplay changes. The first one is the Temperance Swamp planet is back, but it's only as a generated random planet. It's not a starter planet. Doubt if we're going to encounter this if I actually ever get up into space, because the planets are actually defined when the game is generated. And so I think if you want to encounter a swamp planet, you're going to have to start a new playthrough, and I don't think it's really worth it. Now the next one, I suppose I should go and demonstrate this. This is something that you're either going to love or hate. And I think if we just come in here, just power up this has been damaged, so I better do this repair. And this is to do with harvesting trees with the shotgun. And what we can do is just go out. There's a tree over there, so we can just fly over. It won't take long to get there. There's that pangolin who got a bit too close. And actually there's a berry bush over there. I'm just going to stop and grab the berries. Actually I need to eat as well, but I think the berry bush is probably more important. Juice berries here, just to show you guys. Making these are a good way of a basic health kit, and I think they've got more use now than they used to have. I must admit, I quite like the idea of carrying them around rather than making great big health kits. There's a Triceratops there as well. Right, back to... Now I haven't tried this out, so what I'm going to do is we're going to get close enough to land, and we're just going to jump out. Get the shotgun, going to load it up. And prior to this update, it used to be one shot, one tree. So that's one shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots. So now to harvest a tree, it's going to take 4 shots. I don't know, we'll try this one as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's now 4 shots per tree, which isn't too bad, guys. I mean, can't really complain too much about that. Lift off the ground. Wow, this is a bit sluggish, or maybe there's some stuff in here. I'm not going to go head to head with the Triceratops. So that's another change with the Alpha 9.2. I'm sure there's maybe 1 or 2 people who are going to say, I much prefer the one-shot approach, but when you're playing a survival game, it is a game of balance, and I think 1 shot to knock a whole tree down was pretty unrealistic, to be honest. Anyway, I'm just going to get in here. Got to keep an eye on the food as well, but I've got plenty of meat. What are you shooting at now? Not shooting at me, are you? You think I'm a Predator. Say the downside of sentry guns is they are very heavy on ammunition. Just gonna power that off, guys. Jump out. Back to here. Let's just get back into here. Now the next thing I want to talk about is quite interesting, but before we do that, let's just shove this into. Oops, no, I don't want that in there. Got some extra ammunition, which I need for my sentry guns, and we can just drop this into storage. I've obviously left the matrices behind. We'll just drop that in there as well. What we're going to do now is just go into the tech and find the base. If I come down here now, you will see they've now introduced a small constructor which now opens up at level 3, and the large constructor has now been moved over to level 5. Now the first thing I noticed when I actually looked at this earlier on, when I did a quick test login just to see if it's there, well, we better unlock it first actually. Of course I get the large constructor unlock automatically because I've already unlocked it because this started before the 9.2 update. You see the small constructor now seems to replace the HV constructor, but the HV constructor is still in here. If I can find it, where's the HV constructor? It's definitely in here, yeah, mobile constructor here. So in some ways this has been joined with the small constructor. And when I first saw that, I was a bit puzzled over why have they introduced that into the game, because why would you need a small constructor? And then I thought about it, and when I looked at it, if we come into here and look at the templates. Oh, I think that was a spider. Let me just go have a quick look. Oh, no. Yeah, it was a spider that got too close. And I nearly got trapped by the creature. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. If I get into here and we do the unlock, I can find it. I'm going to need to get back to this. What you will see is that the large constructor, and I think this is one of the biggest complaints with the logistics system, that if you actually look at the large constructor, it says mass 40 tons, volume 600 SU. Well, the actual player inventory is only 500 SUs, just to show you that. We come in here, you can see we're 500 SUs. And one of the problems which when you wanted to build a base was how did you get the large constructor out? Now there is a way you can do it using by putting the containers into the base and then hooking it up through the using the wireless connection. But I think what the devs have done is taken on board what people have said, and that the small constructor now is a lot smaller. If you look in here, you see it's only volume 200. Actually, let's just build it out of curiosity. I haven't really looked at what you can actually build as part of this constructor, so this would be quite an interesting exercise. Actually, I think while that's building, let's put the meat in the fridge like that. Actually, we've got quite a lot of meat, so let's just, I think you can, yeah, you can make 10 more steaks actually. While that's actually building, we'll just have eat some snacks. Get back up to, yeah, I've got do with some plant protein as well. Anyway, this should be built by now. Let's get back to the constructor. There we are. So now you can actually put this onto your toolbar, which saves all the hassle and aggravation of trying to get this. So this is the small constructor. Actually, that's quite neat. And it needs power, so it's different, and of course it's going to be connected up as well. Oops. I'm assuming that I can just connect it to that. Food is a bit more restricted. It's almost like it's the same as a portable constructor, isn't it? Or it's like a version. Just have a quick look at them. No, but no, it'd be. Sorry about this, guys. Let's have a quick look at the food options in the portable constructor. Yeah, it's on a par with the portable constructor, and we saw that medication there. So let's come have a look. Maybe I shouldn't have built it over here. And yeah, the medication's on a par with the portable constructor. We've got, looks like we got the assault rifle, so it's almost like this is a intermediate step between the portable constructor and the large constructor, because you can't build an assault rifle, or so you can build a shotgun there. So you can now make an assault rifle. Now, let me just go check, guys. Sorry about this. Pretty sure that in the portable constructor you can't make the assault rifle. No, so you can't do this. You can make oxygen suit and the basics and tier 1. So you've got a few more options, especially making the assault rifle, which would be quite useful. So we can come in here. And you can also make explosive devices. Pulse rifle. Is that actually? I'm on the right one, aren't I? Yeah. That's weird. There's mobile constructor HV up there. Okay, let me just pick this up, guys. I think it's hooking the. Pick this up, and we'll just put the small constructor over here. Just put this over here, and I'm just going to hook this up to that. So it says small constructor HV. Okay. So what it's actually acting as another version of the HV constructor. I suppose that makes sense, because if you don't want to build a hover vehicle, you can actually use this constructor here as a variant option of it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. The advantage is I don't think with the hover vehicle constructor you can add Gatling guns. And has that been changed? Let me just check that. I'm pretty sure you couldn't build Gatling guns with the hover vehicle. Let me just have a quick look. Hover vehicle constructor. Sorry about this, guys, but I'm quite. Yeah, so it looks like they've actually added the Gatling gun to the hover vehicle. Now there's a bit of a sting in the tail for this now, but it's something you need to be aware of. This applies to the hover vehicle, and that is the fact that even though, if we come back into here, this gives the impression that you can build a small vessel, but all you can really build is the shared components between the hover vehicle and the small vessel. But you can't actually build the small vessel thrusters. And just to confirm that, guys, if we come into here and look at small vessel, you will see that some of the key elements here, actually, like the RCS and the thrusters, have to need a small vessel constructor or a large constructor. So building this constructor is going to be the equivalent of a hover vehicle constructor with the same limitations. So I think that's going to be quite interesting. And I think this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. I'm starting to ramble a little bit with my fascination, and the time is also pushing on a little bit, a lot further than what I wanted to do. If you've only come to this video to hear about the changes for 9.2, this is where I'm going to wind it up. Thank you for watching. Now, if any of you guys are here to watch the series, I'm going to give you guys a bit of an update of what I've been doing. And if any of you guys have been watching, looking at this, you think, oh, why is my base gone white? Well, I've had some very useful comments. I really appreciate comments, especially as the fact that I don't claim to know everything about the game. Also, I play so many different games because I've always been the same. I've never been a monogamous game player. I flip between games, and what game I play on what day often depends on what frame of mind I'm in. If I had a bad day and I want to chill out, maybe I'll play No Man's Sky. If I want something that's a bit more aggressive, I'll play Empyrion. Or if I just want to build, I'll play City Skylines. I mean, that's the way I am. The downside of that is that I actually get mixed up. Like one thing I quite often do in No Man's Sky is I do this, expecting to get a drone, and of course there is no drone in No Man's Sky. There's just the the camera for taking pictures, and you don't have this flexibility. Vice versa, when I'm in Empyrion, I often press X and nothing happens, and I'm pressing X saying, why am I not getting a drone? And of course what I'm trying to do is take a picture in No Man's Sky. Anyway, that explanation over. I do really appreciate your comments and feedback and occasional prod about you should be doing this. What we're going to do is go through some of those comments, and I'd like to thank Roger Brown for pointing out that the small vessel now has a radar scanner on it and tucked up there, nice little dome. I think that's a lot better and a lot more cooler than this great big thing on the hover vehicle, and I actually quite like that. I wish their hover vehicle had another version of that, because I think that fits in quite well with the ship. So that's the first comment, and of course the comment from Roger Rainsford about the sentry guns. They've been very useful. The only problem is the ammunition consumption, because I've got so many of those insect creatures. That's why I've now put the sentry guns back on predators only. Just to show you that, guys. Point to base. We come in here. If I show you the sentry guns, what I've done is put them on predators only. It's still a very good thing to have in the current situation, because the big threat around here is the spiders, like just now in the video, because the spiders often hide, just to show you guys, hide down here. I think there's a spawn point here. You can see where they're actually damaging the side of my base here. And I think the spawn point is quite literally just about here. And a couple of times I've come out and been ambushed by spiders, so having the sentry gun dealing with them is okay. Anyway, while I'm out here, I might as well just grab a little bit of stuff here. And just going to grab that and that, just out of the interest of it. And the next comment came from Drayton359 about the texture tools. That's why, if any of you guys follow the series, you may be looking at the base and seeing it looks a bit different. I've also put some lights on the side as well. Let's grab that as well, that's buried in the ground. Because I was doing a bit in the dark, because you can see here my ship's taken a little bit of damage and I was going to repair it. I have put some lights on the side of the base and some more lights inside, just to make the base look a bit more brighter. I don't think it's really draining the batteries that much. Have a quick check. Yeah, we've still got 100% capacity. And what Drayton359 says, I'll just give you a demo, guys. I can find the it's in storage. I put these on here, and what he said is that when you use the texture gun, there is a medium option. I will come out here, it's going to be a little bit safer than. And no, that's the colour gun. Let's get back here. So if I change to say this is on small, so when you do small you do one block. If you come up and change it to medium here, you can do really big areas like that. Now that is great when you're doing big areas, and what I would suggest is that if, say, like you're doing a base and you want to do all the walls, all the ceilings, do the broader textures first before you do the detailed textures, simply because, well, I better put that back the way it was, because you can see the range. Because what I actually did, I was just trying it out, because I'm always forgetting that you got this medium texture option. And what happened was I was actually, because it also works with the color gun here, and what I was doing was I was actually coloring the ceiling, and I actually colored all these components as well at the same time. And after I coloured it, I was going to change it back, and I thought, oh, this looks pretty cool actually. I quite like the light colours. It really lifts the blue in here. But what we should do is change that to white as well. I've done that, yep. So that there's a bit of a theme going. Actually, maybe we can change the ammunition box back to green, so that we know that's the ammunition box. Yeah, so big thank you for all your comments and feedback, and I'm not sure if I can do anything else in this video actually. I've gone a lot longer than I originally planned. I'm just going to drop this back here. And we've got some, I think what I'll do is put that in the constructor, and I think what I'm going to do, just while I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to do a couple of those. And we'll just go into the fridge and have something to eat. Actually, what I could do, yeah, well, Yeah, let's do it, guys. This is a pickup from the update. So if we go in here and turn the thrusters on, and what I think we'll do, guys, is map there. I mean, the Talon settlement isn't that far away, and it's so if we just drop a marker on it. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to shoot over to the Talon settlement just to see if they have got crossbows and whether their settlements are defended by ballistas. I'll be surprised if the settlements have been updated, because that's something that would be generated as part of a new game. But I think just to wind this video up, we're just going to have a quick shoot across the Talon settlement. In fact, I'll see you once I actually get there, guys. I mean, there's a good chance it's going to be in the dark, so I'll see you in a minute. Right, guys, here we are. We're just coming in on the Talon settlement. I think this is the one where the chief lives, so we'll just drop in on him here, and we're just going to land. Oops, come on. Level off, please. And we're just going to get in really close and drop down. Actually, if I park here, I think I've got my tent with me. We can just land here. Come here, power the thrusters off to save a bit of fuel. Jump out. I don't think the Talon are going to be upset if I camp on their territory. I think we are currently have a status of honoured with them. We're friendly with the Polaris. The reason we're friendly with the Polaris is, if any of you guys were watching the series, if I press F1, you'll be aware that I was doing a mission here, Privacy Matters, and I actually completed that because I was stood on my base and the drones came in, and I actually jumped into the small vessel and went up and killed them, and that gave me that mission, and it gave me a thing. So we're just going to get here, so we're just going to come there, pick up this, that can go into there, and have a walk around. Hello guys, anyone around? Want to see if you've got crossbows. Actually, what we could do, there's a guy up here, he's the trader, so he doesn't move. If I remember correctly, there's some kind of goodie box over here. Let's have another look at. Yeah, here we are. There's warning, you will change your reputation to unfriendly, your faction and Talon. So yeah, you get a nice big red warning now when you go to do anything. They've got some plants around here as well. I don't know if it actually affects plants. Yep. So that's an example of the warnings. Let's see if we can find some Talons around here. Actually, if I stand about here, and we go to the drone, I'm not seeing any ballista defences, but I'd be very surprised if there are, simply because these would have been generated when the game started, and everyone doesn't seem to be anybody at home at the moment. Where are you guys? Normally there's loads of you stood around. Maybe we'll go and visit another village. Oh, there's got to be some of you guys wandering around here somewhere. This is your home territory. Actually, what if it applies outside? Let me just here. Oh, it's a daisy. Oh, you're a hostile dinosaur, aren't you? Yeah, you're aggressive dinosaurs. I think I can kill these guys. I don't think the Talon get upset with that. I don't know if anything flashed up to say that that was okay with me to kill them. I should have had the mission to. Anyway, but we can always check. So, I'm sure there's more bodies than this around. There we are. There's one over here. There's 3 of them, wasn't there? Oh, come on, game. What I was going to do is pick some spices. If you'd left me alone, you'd have been okay. Wow, that's not important. Right, back to what I was going to do before these guys came at me. Because we're friendly. I'm just going to check this, guys. So if we come in here, we're now at 5876. So if we pick a plant there, we got some spices, and we're still at 5876 because we're honoured. We can pick the necessary in here. And I think just to wind this video up, let's see if we can find any talon wandering around here. Oh, there's got to be somebody around here. I'm getting a bit worried now because I'm wondering whether the update has wiped out all the talon. So there's no, actually, there's some guys here. Here we are. Maybe they just needed a little while to res in. Actually, it looks like there's one of them over there that's actually got a crossbow. Just gonna. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Gonna have a quick look. Oh, that's cool. They look pretty evil contraptions as well. They look like something that's more like some kind of laser crossbow, so I think they're going to have a bit of a heavy punch to them. I don't think they're going to be, yeah, they're almost like, they look like crossbows, but they're like a laser version of them. Oh, that's cool. Right guys, I think this is where I'm going to leave it. I think if I try and do any more, it's just going to not benefit this video. So hope you enjoyed this quick very top level overview of the Alpha 9.2 update and some of the other changes, and I'm just going to finish with again with another big thank you for all your comments and feedback. So until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.